Hi, this is Dr. Campbell, and today I wanted to talk about, did Education Week miss the bus on improving race relations in schools? Now, in a recent article, Dan French, the executive director of the Center for Collaborative Education, reports that teachers and school administrators lack in their efforts to improve race relations in schools. You see, new technology is necessary to improve schools for all children. Teachers and school administrators must understand that improving race relations includes overcoming the adverse effects associated with a dysfunctional organization. Now, according to this article, which is titled "Colorblind Education is the Wrong Response," school leaders and teachers must refrain from becoming reluctant to discuss race and gender issues in the classroom. According to French, if school leaders want to play a role in improving race relations and narrowing opportunity gaps in their districts and cities, they must abandon the colorblind approach. Districts should recognize, he went on to say, districts should recognize that Black and Latino males need access to a rigorous curriculum that includes content reflecting their language, culture, and frames of reference. They need to see teachers and administrators who look like them. All of us must work harder to create schools that embrace students and families of all backgrounds, rather than places where some are asked to leave their cultures, languages, and experiences outside the schoolhouse door. Requiring school leaders and teachers involves positioning teachers in circumstances that could be considered embarrassing, threatening, or upsetting. The described challenges form the basis for a dysfunctional organization. And so the next natural question is, what are the characteristics of a dysfunctional organization that can reject efforts to improve race relations in schools? Dysfunctional organizations exhibit several characteristics that are detrimental to its existence. The foundation for the dysfunctional organization begins with each person's use of defense mechanisms for coping. Defense mechanisms are the unwritten rules an individual learns and utilizes to effectively deal with circumstances that are upsetting, embarrassing, or threatening. The second level is skill and competence, which is the outcome of the defensive mechanisms we have internalized. When the defensive behaviors we've learned are transformed into a learned behavior, that behavior becomes a skill, albeit an incompetent skill that we consider necessary in order to deal with issues that are embarrassing, threatening, or upsetting. A skill that is learned from the regular application of a defense mechanism has a high degree of incompetence embedded within it, because we are unaware of how this skill will impact our future. Skill and competence transforms into a defensive routine. Defensive routines are the third level. When the skill and competence is automatically exhibited at all times, the behavior is now a defensive routine. Defensive routines lead to fancy footwork. Fancy footwork is the fourth level. Fancy footwork happens when individuals try to deny the behavioral inconsistencies they exhibit, or else they place blame on other people, which results in distancing themselves from taking responsibility for their behavioral inconsistencies. Fancy footwork leads to organizational malaise. Organizational malaise is the final level. During this phase, the individuals in the organization will seek to find fault within the organization rather than accept responsibility for their actions and correct their behavior accordingly. The individual continues the process by accentuating the negative and de-emphasizing the positive in an effort to cover up their actions. The organizational malaise is further exacerbated by a refusal of one or all members to discuss their area of responsibility. And so how can schools improve race relations and avoid the characteristics associated with a dysfunctional organization? Schools can improve race relations by promoting positive racial teacher-student classroom relationships. Quality teacher-student interactions are one of the most important variables that influence student achievement in the classroom. Teacher-student relationships are at the very heart of the educational process. It is expected that this relationship should have an important bearing on students' achievement. Long-term teacher-student relationships result in improved performance. High student grades result when teachers and students have congruent values. Black student achievement has a high correlation with warm and supportive teachers. You see, administrators and teachers can only improve race relations by promoting positive racial relationships in such a manner that the pitfalls associated with a dysfunctional organization are avoided. This is Dr. Campbell. You can read this entire article on my website as well as other information at www.positiveracialrelationships.com. If you want to talk about it, you can call me on my direct line at 856-566-3267. Have a great day, and thank you very much.
Yeah, be sure to check out positiveracialrelationships.com. Check it. Look, pull your pencils out, class is in session. Let's focus on loving our neighbor without a question. Visit positiveracialrelationships.com. Leading classrooms together like a marriage bond. Kick racism out, that ain't what life's about. For more information, check the website out.